For those of you who don't know, I do the morning announcements, or I used to anyway, before I stopped attending last semester. Yeah, I'm a grade 12 student and I don't attend school. And this... Oh. Sorry. Can't see. Oh, this is my story. Okay, hopefully that works better. Wait, no, go back. Can I have the clicker again, by the way? Alright, thank you. Alright, first of all, I want to apologize. I'm very big on typography. I wanted to use my Mac to present, but I couldn't get it connected to the Apple TV. So now I'm going to have to use some crappy default font. Emojis aren't going to look as cool. Just like, it's just sad. Anyway, so, as the MC mentioned, my name is Anmol, and I don't attend school. Maybe the mouse is in there. Wait, oh, it worked! So, what do I do instead? Well, I'm a full-time software engineer, actually. Just pass me the mouse, guys. Just pass me the mouse. What?
They're changing it.
Just pass me the mouse. Yeah, I'll make sure. Yeah. Alright, so I'm a full-time back-end software engineer at a little company out of Austin, Texas. Ah, there we go. That's our logo. Just take a moment to appreciate those curves. That took our designers so long just to get those curves right. It's beautiful. Thank you. So, that's where my company is located. Just in case you didn't know, Austin, Texas. Now, see, this is what I was talking about, the emojis. That is supposed to be like a winky face. I don't know if you can tell. Just pretend and substitute it with the Apple emojis because they're so much better. So, anyway, first thing I wanted to talk about was how much do I make? Well...
Trying to flex at it.
Yo, chill.
120 grand. I mentioned that for a couple of reasons.
You want to flex?
Two reasons, actually.
What's the flex?
One, I want to flex, of course. I don't really flex that often in my salary. But two, and a more important reason is because of respect. And what I mean by that is that... hear me out. I find that a lot of the time, I can't express like my quality as an engineer to other people because they're not engineers or programmers, and so they don't take me as seriously. But when they know that I'm making 120 grand, suddenly they give me a lot of respect. And that's for better or for worse, but it happens. And so that's why I mentioned it. I know it's kind of a cheap thing to do, and I'm not trying to impress you just like that.
No, yes,
I have a lot more to talk about. Oops. Unbelievable. Okay, let's move on then. So what exactly do? I design server software, actually. So, go back. Go back again. Okay, fine, I'll just wave at you. Go. Okay, so the programming language I use is Go. This is a picture of our office. We had a mural painted. That says Coder there, that's the company's name. But above that is the gopher. That's our programming language's mascot, the one we use mostly at my company. Next.
Go.
Next, eh? Oh, okay. No idea why that's happening. But anyway, so I can't actually share the specifics of what I do because it's covered by an NDA. In fact, my NDA is actually covered by the NDA, so I can't even tell you that I have an NDA. But I told you now. So I might as well tell you everything, right? No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to go into a little bit, not a detail, but a lot of the general stuff I do. So basically, you can just imagine a bunch of server racks like this, and I manage the code that runs on them. I gotta wait for the next slide. Oh, there we go. So first thing I do is a lot of engineering. Like I design the code that runs on it. I come up with like high picture infrastructure designs for my company for a lot of our like just general server infrastructure. Okay. The second thing I really think I do with my job is I'm more of an artist when it comes to programming. Like at my company, I manage our internal style guide, and it's like a handbook for all the other engineers on how to write beautiful code. And I think I really do that really well, because for me, I like making it really, really beautiful. I like making it as minimal as possible and extremely elegant. It sounds kind of pretentious and it's hard to explain to other people, but I just really like doing that, and that's part of why I got the job actually. Okay, so a lot of the other things I do for my company are code reviews. So other engineers will submit their code to me. I'll like give them comments, feedback, stuff like that. And other engineers do that for me as well. It's just a really, it's like an industry standard practice. And I guess it kind of falls under engineering. The other thing I am is a firefighter. But not legit fires. More fires for like when our infrastructure goes down. For example, recently there's a service we have called Starlight. I'll explain what that means. My boss is very creative when it comes to naming things. It went down, there was a memory leak, and I had to debug it. So Starlight, right? So the thing is, Starlight is one of our internal services that it figures out what servers don't have any load on them, like they're not handling any requests right now, and other servers will talk to Starlight, figure out which servers aren't handling anything, and then they're going to request those servers to start doing work for them, just so that the load is more evenly spread out. It's like a load balancer, for you guys who maybe do comp sites, like a load balancer, but without the proxying in between. So it goes to Starlight, comes back, and yeah, I'm going to explain exactly what it does here. Okay, so let's say we have Starlight up here, and we have a server that wants to make a request to one of these servers over here. They all do the exact same thing, but it wants to make sure the load is evenly spread. So what it's going to do is ask Starlight, which server should I put that request onto, which server I should schedule it onto, and then, I gotta wait. Oh, there we go. It's going to return a response and give it the IP address of the server that it should request. There we go. And wanted a file, let's say, it's going to talk to that server and get the file. So now the way this works internally, keep going, keep reading. Okay, there we go. So what Starlight is doing, it has connections open to every single server, and it's monitoring their resource load. The thing with this issue was that Starlight kept making connections to each of these services, and it kept doing that in a loop. So it just kept on making connections, but not closing any of them. So what ended up happening is it ran out of memory. Now, the really sad thing about running out of memory is that it brings down all the other programs that are running on the operating system. It's called I forget the name, but because there's no, yeah, see, it went down. Got wrecked. Alright? And I couldn't debug this because the server that I use, or the program I use to log into servers remotely, it depends on another program running on that server. But that program was down because the server ran out of memory. So this was a really hard bug to debug. Really, what I had to do was literally go through thousands of lines and figure out that line in which these connections kept getting open because I literally had no information. That's what I mean by I'm a firefighter. There's a lot of debugging involved. So what is the purpose of my company? Well, or not my company, I should say our company. I don't own it. Our company, we're developing a web ID. For the engineers and computer scientists here, I'm sure you guys used an IDE before to program. But the thing is, you always have to download it, it's clunky, it's slow, and it's frankly ugly. And we're changing that. Oh yeah, you should visit our website, coder.com, by the way. So, how did I get here? How did I get my job? How did I get good at programming? What's behind all of that? Ah, there you go. Video games. That's where it all begins, am I right?
Hey.
So, when I was a kid... No, go back, go back! No, what are you doing? It's a surprise! Unbelievable, am I right? Anyway, video games. So, when I was a kid, I used to play a lot of video games. Like, a lot. Like, every single day since, like, kindergarten. I'd go on my dad's computer, I'd play Lego Racers. He used to actually get really triggered because I wouldn't actually try and win. I'd just wander aimlessly through the racetrack. Super chill, like, why aren't you trying to win? I used to play like a DS, PS2, stuff like that, GameCube. Tons and tons of games. That's what really started my interest in programming. I remember the Pop Tropica. I played that a lot too. Shamefully. That's one.
Shameful.
Well, I'll just keep talking then. The game that really got me into programming was a little game called Powder Toy. It's like Minecraft, but 2D. And it's more of a physics and chemistry simulator. I used to play in like grade 2 or 3. I'd like make bombs, lasers, guns, stuff like that. No, it's pretty cool. It's like it's literally Minecraft, but it's not like there's no blood or anything. It's just literally the elements themselves. And they're arbitrary elements. They're not the actual elements. You can create your own. In fact, that's what I'm going to get into. I wanted to mod the game. That's how I got into programming. Here's my profile, actually. This is from 2010. See that? This is raw 2010 animal right there. In your closet with a knife. My God. Classic. Next.
18.
Oh no, that's because it only asked for my birthday, so it automatically calculated that I'm 18. I didn't actually edit anything.
Right. right. Right.
Right? I keep going ahead. I didn't. Go back. I seriously really apologize for this. This is not how I planned to go.
Yo, the shade.
So, in grade 6, I tried modding this game. I downloaded Visual Studio. You might have heard of it, C++. That's what the game was originally written in. Unfortunately, I didn't really understand anything. There's a friend who came from India. He's a family friend. He was going to college here. He was staying with us. He saw me one day on my computer, wandering aimlessly through code, not understanding anything, and he commented. He's like, "Oh, I know how to program. Well, what do you do?" I was like, "Well, I don't understand anything. I'm just trying to learn." And he told me to actually learn first. Because I was just trying to mod this game, but I was just going through the code aimlessly, just trying to see if I could understand it. So he told me to actually learn, and I went through a bunch of C++ tutorials. And I was a really bad programmer. The most I got was like printing things and like if statements and loops that I found arrays so confusing. Same with pointers. Couldn't get my head around them. The other thing he told me was that he worked on a snake game once.
Oh my God,
A snake game that he programmed in C while in India at a college or high school, I think. And so I really wanted to make a snake game now. For some reason, I just really wanted to do it. Now, so what I did was I started learning C++ a lot more. I started reading a book on it. I would come like literally every day home to read forum posts. In fact, if you go on C++.com, you look for my profile, it's Animal444, you see all the cringe fest there. Like terrible questions. I should go back. I did end up making the snake game though in grade 10. It's right here. The graphics are really bad because it's a terminal game, so that means there's like literally characters, like the snake is made up of equal signs. I'm not even joking. Yeah, no graphics there. Not that it was too hard, it was just, see, I had a thing for like terminals, like I really like typing commands in instead of using GUIs, or I did anyway, but now I don't do that because that's crazy. Okay, I'm sure some of you guys recognize this. League of Legends.
It's Dota.
Now, I'm sure you're thinking, Animal, why? Why League of Legends? What does this have to do with anything? There's a question mark right after. That's what your emotion is right now. I'll get into it. I learned a lot from League of Legends. The most important thing I learned was discipline. So when a lot of people start playing League of Legends, for those of you who don't know, it's a 5v5 PvP game. You get put into like randoms, with randoms, and you fight against 5 other randoms. When people start playing, they always blame their team. Like every time they lose, like, oh, my team sucks, my jungler sucks, my support sucks, my this sucks, that wasn't my fault. Like, it's constant. Like, I'm not even joking. And I mean, I was no exception to that. When I started playing League, I was toxic, and I won't even lie. My friends out there can confirm. Gunzi! Confirm, please. Anyway, but yeah, I'm just saying, I really was. And so I wanted to get good at that game in like grade 8 or grade 9. In grade 8, I started reading a lot about the psychological, like the way you frame things, how that impacts your motivations and success. And a lot of people that play League, when like good people who are actually good, they always say, do not blame your team. Always look for your own mistakes because that's where your path is to success. It's always in you. Look for what patches that you can fix, or what cracks you can patch, I should say, sorry. Ooh. The other thing I learned was the importance of consistency and dedication. I would play this game literally every day, and I do mean every single day. I really wanted to get super good at this, and it became sort of my second life aside from school. I'd do work, play League, do work, play League, do work, play League, do work, play League. A couple more times too. In the second half of grade 9, so I got really good at this game actually, like really good. Eventually, I wanted to take the philosophy that I learned about framing things in a different way, in a more about yourself, I should say, looking for your own mistakes, framing things that way, and I wanted to apply it to other parts of my life. So I actually quit League of Legends, and my friends still like bothered me about that because I got really good. I could have gone like professional in that game, but I didn't, and they were like, "Why?" But that's because I wanted more than just a video game. I wanted to do other things as well. I wanted to have more interests. So I wanted to expand my horizons a bit. And that's why I decided to quit in the second half of grade 9. What I decided to do instead was put my full focus into learning things. Learning anything, reading anything, and I do mean anything. Just whatever I felt like. I applied this to school as well, and what I realized was that assignments and grades and rubrics, I didn't really like that stuff. I'm sure most of you don't like it, but I literally gave up when I stopped handing things in. The only reason I passed grade 9 was because of the strike, and because of, the strike, because I participate a lot in class. I really like participating, so my teachers would give me like 3 marks for that, which is really cool. So that's literally the only reason I had piss poor grades. It was kind of sad, but that wasn't sad for me. I actually really enjoyed it, because I was so focused on my passion, you know? I didn't care about the grades. They didn't matter to me in grade 9. And I'm so happy for that. And then it didn't matter to me in grade 10 or 11 either. I'm going to get more into exactly why and how I expanded my philosophy and integrated it better.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So, the thing I like about what I'm going to talk about now is independent learning. Yes, the love emoji. Imagine that's actually red. Like Windows emojis, like a black emoji, a black heart sign, like come on.
Racist.
Unbelievable. So, the thing I did at home, when I stopped like doing schoolwork, was I was teaching myself, right? And the important thing about that was I had no barriers. I could go on and on and on without any limits, without anybody telling me when I'm done, without anybody telling me when I'm done refining my ideas, without anybody telling me what's right, what's wrong. I had to figure out everything by myself. And that was a really important part of my journey. Because I learned that independent learning, I'm not saying teachers suck. It's just the thing is that with teachers, there's always a barrier. You're not always fully comfortable to ask all your questions and follow through on all your leads. And it just doesn't matter. It's part of the human condition. I don't blame them. It always is there. There's always that barrier. But with yourself, there never is. You can go as far as you want. You can go until the day you die. Just keep going. That's what I did. And that's what I adopted. And then in grade 10, I took that even one step further. I decided to de-emphasize my grades. The way I did that was, 1, I stopped bringing them up at all. 2, I wouldn't tell anybody else my grades. Now this had a couple of really important effects, at least socially. I never felt socially pressured to get good grades. So I spent all my time doing the things that I loved and making sure that, just because I knew what I loved now. Because I wasn't spending time on these things. And another important part is my parents don't really like, well they do, but I just don't share my grades with them. So it's like no big deal, even if I get like a really bad grade, they don't care. Because they never know. So, like for example, in grade 9 I didn't hand in my English ISU, I didn't hand in some of my, pretty much all my business assignments, I didn't hand in like anything for science. And then grade 10 in comp sci, we were doing visual basic, Everyone who's ever done comp sci, everyone learned visual, but you know how cancer that thing is. I didn't want to do a single assignment. I got to midterms and I was like, I'm done. This is it. It's a terrible programming language. Never do it. Ever. Anyway. But yeah, that's the sort of thing, because I don't waste my time anymore on things like that. A lot of times, school can't adapt as fast, especially right now when technology is changing so fast. The curriculum was old, and it was teaching something outdated, something inflexible, and something that frankly sucked. And I didn't want to have any part in it. But it's just true, it's true.
Well,
so yeah, I showed you guys the snake game. Whoa, go back, buddy. Wait, no, go forward, buddy. Don't move. So yeah, I wanted to carve my own completely unique path, and that was one of my very explicit goals when I started integrating this philosophy into my life. The other thing I learned in grade 9 or 10 that I already told you guys about is another important part about independent learning is that I have zero distractions. And what that means is I can literally go on until the only reason I stop is that my eyes are closing because I have to go to sleep. I can just pour my heart out into something, and it makes me so proud to see it at the very end when I see something that I created, when I poured my heart out, and I saw that how beautiful it was, that it's something that I created, and it really motivates me, and I love it. And I'll never stop banging my head against the wall if I have to, just because it makes me so happy, and I'm glad that I found something that makes me that happy, or a way to make me that happy. But independent learning is a risk, though, right? I mean, the problem with independent learning is that you have to make sure that you're disciplined enough to follow through. It's very easy to get distracted by pretty much anything. And the discipline I really learned was from League of Legends. People say, video games are a waste of time, but there is a lot to learn. And I really owe it to that game for teaching me how to stick with things, how to stick with my goals, and really learn how to improve. That was something very important I learned from that game. So I applied this philosophy to grade 10, grade 11, wouldn't hand in assignments, wouldn't share my grades, nobody ever knew. It's quite funny, actually. People would ask me my grades, they think I'd have a really high grade because I participated a lot in class. But I just modify my... Oh yeah, that's another thing I'll tell you guys about. I'd modify my assignments. If there was something I didn't like, I'd change it. I wouldn't care about the rubric that the teacher gave me, I just wanted to make it fun. I wanted to pour my heart, and if I couldn't pour my heart out, it was a waste of my time. I'm dead serious about this.
What legend?
I would literally change the rubric.
This guy.
I'm not even joking.
Yo.
And it was great because nobody knew. I never felt any pressure not to do it differently. I mean, my teachers would call me in sometimes like, why are you doing this? I mean, the rubric was really clear. I'm like, but it's no fun. So, that was until the start of this year though. This year I was expecting to go to university actually. In grade 12, I didn't expect to drop out. I had no idea. So I was trying really hard, and my grades really improved this year. Because the last 3 years I spent just getting better. And I got so good at getting better that this year was a cake in the park. I didn't even attend half my classes.
Cake in the park.
It was like no problem. 99.
Cake in the park.
I'm not even joking.
A cake in the park.
Part of that is because I poured my heart out so hard in grade 9 to 11. I'd always do what I could do to learn more and more and more, read more and more and more, think more and more and more. And I never give in to my teachers. I never see them as authority. I'd see them, what they told me, as feedback. And I never care about my grades. I try to integrate their feedback into my work, and if I didn't like it, I'd reject it. This is something I do in a lot of math class. So a lot of my math teachers, they always make me show my work and stuff like that. I really don't like it. I like having style when I do math.
Style.
So, my philosophy isn't without downsides though. A lot of independent learning, a lot of reading. The problem with it is that you become so unique, you become kind of disconnected from everyone else. There's very few people who share my interests, and it's hard for me to sometimes connect with others. But I'm fixing that though now. I've taken a couple classes, doing other activities that allow me to connect with other people better and more. Now, that's kind of my philosophy. I hope you guys liked it, and how I improved so quickly in the past 3 years, and why I am where I am now. I want to talk about my company and how I got my job. Now, yes, that's okay. Like all good things, it begins on Reddit. So my company, I browse Reddit a lot. That's where I get most of my programming knowledge, or not most of it, I should say, but a lot of it. Like all the news, like that's how I keep up to date. So I'm subscribed to this subreddit, Golang. The company posted this job posting. My mom was like nagging me to get a job a couple weeks earlier, and I was like, hey, what can it hurt, right? Because I didn't have a resume or anything like that. I wasn't even sure if they'd hired me because I was 17, I was under 18. I wasn't sure if they'd be okay with that because I'd have to work remotely and like taxes and stuff like that. So I just shot the guy an email. I was like, yo, I'm pretty good at this, hire me. And then I sent him a link to my portfolio. And he was like, cool, maybe we'll hire you. And they set me up for an interview. The portfolio I gave them was something called GitHub. I'm not sure if you've ever done ComSci, you've definitely used this. I've been on GitHub since like grade 9 and I have one of the biggest portfolios in the world. In fact, I was once interviewed by a PhD researcher that was investigating why people spend so much time, or why some people, I should say, spend so much time doing stuff like this, like programming on their own. Like why? What motivates me? So the email I got from her, I actually asked her, I emailed her yesterday about her dissertation. I really want to read what she found. So they gave me the interview, and I expected not to get that much money. I was expecting like $15, $20, and my jaw dropped when they told me how much I'd be getting paid. Like I ran over, I told my mom, and she was like, what? She didn't believe me at first until the money showed up in my bank account. Not even joking. No one, not even my cousins wouldn't believe me. Nobody, I didn't even believe it. I was like, whoa. Because I never realized how good I got. Because I was working completely on my own. I had no mentor, no friend, no one I talked to about this. It was completely self-driven. I had literally no idea. It was a really big surprise for me. Like, unbelievable. Alright, anyway. Alright, AMA, if you guys got any questions, ask me literally anything. If you want to know if I like Hawaiian pizza, sure, yes, I do.
Yay.
Go ahead. If you have any questions.
Yeah, what should I ask?
Start recording it.
That's a great question. League of Legends, I love playing that. In grade 9, I programmed a reverse proxy to let me tunnel through the school's internet because they'd filtered out SSH. So, and me and my friends had set up a VPN and we'd all play League of Legends at school. It was a lot of fun. It was really good ping too. Like it was like 20 ping, dude. It's awesome. Yeah.
Did you spend any money on League of Legends?
Oh yeah, like $300, dude. Yeah. Thank you. You know what skins I bought? Udyr. I was like Udyr. Yeah, there we go. Anyway. Oh.
Yo, what was your ranking league before you left?
Sorry?
What was your ranking league before you stopped playing?
Oh, I was Diamond 2 or 3.
Oh, he's flexing so hard.
Yep. My main was Talon. I used to be the 13th best in North America, actually. Yeah.
13 best.
Yeah, I will be graduating. I have the courses and everything. I don't even have to come to school right now, actually. I just come for fun. I have all the credits. Yep. I can't see. Sorry, the lights are really bright.
Very random.
Whoever it is, just start talking. Yes?
What tips do you have for people looking to get into computer science?
People looking to get into computer science.
Excellent question.
Tips. Well, own it. That's something like when you go to university, make sure you keep personal projects and you own the things that you do. And what I mean by that is like if you get an activity from your professor, make sure you literally pour your heart out into it. Make it your own. Add things no one else has thought of, no one else has done. Google research. Make it beautiful.
No,
Yes.
no, I want to waste the question.
Yep. The best language is definitely not Golang, it's probably Java. Golang I learned because I think it's the best language. I think it's the most beautiful language, the best design language. I actually used to do a lot of research on programming languages. I've read pretty much every code doc there is. Like the documentation and specification released by the authors. I've read a lot of stuff about other languages too, but the thing about Go that I really like is that it's very simple and minimalistic. I'm a very minimalistic person, or I try to be. And I really like the way the authors designed the language because they did the bare minimum to make it a super useful language. No BS, I should say. Yeah.
This is from Harsh. What do you feel about HTML?
HTML, it's not a programming language. I'm serious, yeah. It's not a programming language. You have logic, right? I mean, I guess HTML now, like, they add a lot of cool stuff and you can do that. But I mean, like, you can embed CSS or JavaScript, but yeah. All right, last question. Who wants to be the last question?
Wow, you trolled me.
Yeah, I did. Sorry? I'm hungry. No, I had Miss Anton. She's a lot easier, I know. It's not as impressive.
man.
I'm just kidding, Miss Anton's a great teacher, I love her. I come to physics actually every now and then, I visit that class. Sometimes I have to leave though because my ride's there. Alright, thank you guys. If you have any questions, my email is me@animal.io.
Me@animal.io.
Have a nice day.
Me@animal.io.
Thank you for organizing this.